Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's Copilot Studio user group session. We are delighted to have you join us as we bring together professionals, practitioners, and technology enthusiasts who share a common interest in exploring the transformative potential of Microsoft Copilot Studio and agentic AI. Your participation reflects the strength of this community and our collective commitment to learning, innovation, and knowledge sharing. Now, this is the second session for July month. We are proud to present you a session by Jay Patel, who is a Microsoft MVP. Today's session provides an opportunity to gain valuable insights from industry experts, discover applications and emerging capabilities, and engage in a meaningful discussions. Thank you for being part of the Copilot Studio user group community. We trust that you will find this session informative and beneficial to your ongoing AI and automation journey. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. This session is currently recorded. So if you do not consent to being part of the recording, please exit this event now. Recordings will be made available in the YouTube channel. So it will be made available in my YouTube channel, Nehal's, and Jay's YouTube channel. To start with, I'm the event host. So my name is Girish. I'm a Microsoft MVP for business applications. So I'm a Copilot Studio MVP. I specialize in Power Platform technology. So I work day in, day out in Dynamics 365 and Power Platform based solutions, be it Power Apps, Power Automate, Copilot Studio, Power Pages, Power BI, and also work on some of the Azure components as well. You can visit my website to see some more information about myself and the technical contents in the Power Platform and Dynamics 365 space. Along with me, joining Nehal Shah. She's also from Brisbane. She's a consultant in the business applications. She specializes in Power Pages and Power Apps. She's a user group leader, and she is also a Power Platform developer and a Power Platform functional consultant certified. Now, so before I introduce you to the speaker, let's go into the recent updates of what has happened in the Copilot Studio space. Now, community tools. So I'm going to go through and show you the agent skills, which has been recently launched. So you can actually go inside the gallery and then download the agent skills and use within your application. Then there's Agent Ops, which you will see in the left menu in the Copilot Studio uh, authoring interface. You will also see Chat in the Copilot Studio authoring interface. And this is not related to Copilot Studio, the Power Platform role-based access. Now, I just thought of like putting some Power Platform related components over here, and I'll gonna explain you what this Power Platform role is all about. Also, Copilot Studio roadmap is moved to a new site. Now it will become a part of Microsoft 365. So you will see in Microsoft 365 roadmap, here you will see Copilot Studio related roadmap details. Now this is how the roadmap will look like. I'm going to explain you some of the new capabilities which has changed and anything which is coming in the next 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months time. Then this is the session for today, Beyond Chatbots, which I will ask Jay to introduce himself, like once I'm finished with explaining you about the recent updates. All right, so let me show you first the agent skills gallery. So if you navigate to this URL, microsoft.github.io, cat agent skills, here you will see a gallery of skills for your AI agents. Now, as you all know, in Copilot Studio interface, like this is the Copilot Studio interface. Now, if I go to agents and if I say navigate into any of the agent, now here you can add a skill in a Copilot Studio agent. Now, skill you can create on your own. You can upload it from various sources, or maybe you can make use of cat agent skills gallery. Now, as you see over here, like this is the classical interface. Now, if it takes you to the classical interface, I would advise you to go to the home and then you can either change directly through the URL. Like there are multiple ways to navigate to the different application. So if I say go over here, click on agent, and if I click on new agent, I'll be presented with a new interface. Now here you have skills. Now if I click on skills, I can upload a skill or I can create it from a blank file. Now, this skill someone has already built for you. So there are like 44 contributions from the community. So take for example, if you want to build a chart, okay, so chart builder. Now you can use this skill alongside Cowork, Copilot Studio, and Scout. So you can read through the documentation. This is pretty much simple. What you just need to do is like you just accept the condition, download the zip, and then upload that zip in the uh, skill section in the Copilot Studio agent, and then you will be able to utilize that skill. So like that, there are so many skills which has been contributed by the community. Some of them being redlining content, AI demo assistant, universal document converter. The one which I liked is something related to the PDF. So you can actually extract the table content like PDF table data conversion. So it extracts table from a PDF document, and then it will present the data in the agent. There are other skills like AI platform advisor, PowerPoint deck designer, rich HTML presentation, and there are other things also over here like SharePoint list formatter. So different categories of skills are currently available. Now this is an ever growing list. So currently it's 44, maybe tomorrow you might see it growing to like 60, 70, and then eventually in thousands. All right, going into the roadmap. Now, if you want to know what new things are coming in the Copilot Studio application, so you need to navigate to Microsoft 365 roadmap, click on jump to roadmap, and then from here, you will search for the technology. Now here, Microsoft Copilot Studio is selected. Now here you will see all the new feature that is gonna come. Now, some are in development, some are available, some previews are available in, say, August 2026, and rollout will start from Jan 2027. Now, the first one, if you see, share autonomous agent to end user. So, if you want to know some more information about that, here you will see the information. Like previously, autonomous agents could only be used and managed by makers, limiting their reach to the people who needed them. Now, with this run only sharing, it enables makers to securely share autonomous agent with end users, allowing users to benefit from the agent driven automation without requiring the edit permission or the ownership of that particular agent. So that's one of the feature. Then we have enabling express mode for flows invoked by an agent or an app. You can even like now invoke agent as a workflow step with the agent node. Now this is already available, but the final rollout will start in September 2026. You can also use SharePoint list as a knowledge source. Now, this was previously there in the older interface, but now in the new interface, you will see SharePoint list also added as a knowledge source. And then there are other things related to enforcing the safe sharing by detecting credential oversharing. So more security features, which will be added in the Copilot Studio agents. Now, this is pertaining to M365 agent as well. Other thing which has come up, like you can invoke agent as a workflow steps with the agent node, block the use of maker provided credential for authentication. Again, this is a security related feature. So you can block the use of maker's credential by AI agents. And then you can also use MCP compliant tools in the agent workflows. So these are like some of the upcoming features within Copilot Studio. Now, other things which you have seen in Copilot Studio is like if you go into the left menu, here you will see home, and now here you will see chat as well. So you can have a conversation within this Copilot Studio interface itself. So you can click on new chat and then you can start the conversation. Other thing which you can see over here is agent ops. Now, agent ops is all about evaluation. So you can actually evaluate your agent. Now, this feature was already there previously, but then you will see a richer set of interface. Now, here you will see actually how many credits have been consumed, how many items have been evaluated, and also here you will see how many evaluation has happened, how many evaluation has not happened, and you can also navigate to a specific agent. Say I'm going in a specific agent over here, and I can see all the evaluations that has happened. So over here I can see that a couple of evaluations has like failed, and it has just passed 60%. You will see all the interface over here, like it has changed completely. You can also view the monitoring details. You can sort by or filter by the last 360 days of metric information. If I go to evaluation, I can click on new evaluation, and then this again, this is a new interface. So here you can actually create an evaluation. You can check for single response or the conversation. You can turn on the generation options. You can select how many questions to generate. And also there are other options which you can see over here. You can export this as a test set, or you can write questions yourself, or you can import it as or upload a file. So a lot of things happening in the agent of space. Now, other thing which I wanted to show you is in Power Platform Admin Center. If you navigate to identity and access, so I'm in Power Platform Admin Center, security, identity and access, there's something called as a role-based access. Now, this is not specific to Copilot Studio, but then this is related to Power Platform application as a whole. So you can assign different roles to users to help manage access to different parts of the admin center. Now, previously, like say, if you are a global admin or if you're like a service admin, you will be able to access and utilize all the feature within Power Platform Admin Center. But now, more granular level roles can be assigned. So specifically here, you will see the role of Power Platform owner, contributor, reader. So owner can manage all Power Platform items and assign roles. Reader can view all Power Platform items, and Power Platform contributor can manage all Power Platform items. So like that, you can specify the user roles. So you can add a user over here. You can add people. You can add a security group, and even you can add an application users as well. So that's the service principle which you can add within the system. So I think I've covered most of the new features over here. So what I'll do is like I will hand it over to Jay to continue with his session. And Jay, if you want to take control of your screen.
Yeah, sure, Girish. Thank you so much. I'm just sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can see your screen.
All
Thanks.
right, great. First of all, thank you so much, Girish and Nehal, for this opportunity. I'm really grateful. And secondly, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. My name is Jay Patel, and I am also a Microsoft MVP um, in customer experience category. And I'm also a master's student at Queensland University of Technology here in Brisbane, and currently working as an associate consultant at Superware.ai, which is an consultancy in Brisbane only. So today in this session, I'm going to talk about beyond chatbots, what Copilot Studio can do today. So this session is something where we'll be discussing that what are some of the new things which are there in the Copilot Studio, and I will be focusing more on the demo part. We'll be understanding that how things work here in Copilot Studio. I'll be talking about the multi-agent orchestration. Then we'll also talk about computer use and other features, and then finally we'll talk about the analytics part. So this session is going to be basic because uh, I am someone who has recently started learning about Copilot Studio. So I will make sure that I try to keep it as simple as I can so that people who are also trying to learn about Copilot Studio can easily understand this session, even if they have not explored anything about Copilot Studio earlier. So the discussion today is going to be about knowledge, agent flows, multi-agent orchestration, computer use, and analytics. But before that, let's understand that how AI has evolved, particularly when we talk about Copilot Studio and Copilot in general. So earlier we had chatbots, then we went to Copilot, then we went to agents, and now we are moving towards the autonomous systems, where the self-improving AI systems are operating independently to drive outcomes at scale. So, and you also know that Microsoft has recently released a lot of new changes um, in different tools, and especially in Copilot Studio. So they have really been focusing on a roadmap where they are moving from chatbots to autonomous systems. When we compare these three things, when we are talking about chatbots, okay, they used to answer predefined questions. Copilot used to assist users with AI. An agent basically helps them complete tasks and achieve goals, right? And this is something which makes an agent different, because when we were talking about chatbots, they had rule based conversations, while Copilot had natural language assistance, and agents had that understanding and reasoning capability. Based on that, they can reason on the prompts which are provided by the users, or can take actions on different triggers, and can actually take control over your system and perform the tasks on behalf of you. In chatbots, we had limited FAQs or scripted content, while in the case of Copilot, we had grounded enterprise knowledge. But in the case of agents, we use multiple knowledge sources and business context, and then it generates an output for you. Chatbots had mainly the work of providing the information, while Copilot was able to trigger actions when asked. But when we talk about agents, they can proactively perform multi step tasks. In chatbots, we had, you know, fixed conversation paths, while in Copilot, we had response based on user intent, your generative AI. And then in the case of agents, it makes decisions within defined boundaries. And when we are talking about the automation, chatbots had very minimal automation. Copilot used to assist us with workflows, and agents can execute end-to-end business processes. Right? If you're talking about the examples, you can think of it like, when we're talking about chatbots. Chatbots were there even before the generative AI, right? Where we used to provide the um, data to the chatbots, and it works on very predefined data, and then it gives you responses based on that. Copilot summarizes the content for you. It gives you answers properly. But when we're talking about agent, it creates a leave request, sends it for approval. It notifies your manager, so it can actually take actions when we are talking about an agent. So that's what makes an agent different from all the other things which we have. Now, we will quickly move on to the you know demo part, because we don't have much time. So I'll make sure that we cover each and every point which I have thought of discussing today. So I will be focusing more on showcasing things. Let's directly move on to the Copilot Studio from here, right? So here on the Copilot Studio today, what I'm going to show you is, um, I have created multiple agents here, and through these agents, I'll try to make sure that I go through different types of things which are included in Copilot Studio. So you can see I have IT support agent, HR support agent, finance support agent, then this workplace assistant. First of all, I'm going to open this IT support agent. All right. So for those people who don't have any idea about how we can create agents in Copilot Studio, and what are some of the things which we need to configure in order to create an agent, let me start explaining from very scratch for them, right? So as you can see here, I have simply created one agent, which is IT support agent. And here you can see different sections, or different things available here in this overview tab, right? The first thing is the name of this agent, right? You can simply edit this name. Whatever name you want to provide, you can provide. Then you can also change the icon of it. Then you can provide the description to help people understand that what this agent does, right? And then we have to select the agent's model. Now here I have selected this model, which is Claude Sonnet 4.6. But if you see here, we have multiple models available from OpenAI and from Anthropic. So you can select any model of your choice, and this will be the model which your agent will use for the reasoning purpose. Then here in this monitor section, you can see that it is providing me some analytics about what was the conversation sessions and engagement. So I'm going to discuss about this thing in detail as we'll move forward. But that is also what you can see in order to monitor your agent here in this overview tab. Then we have instructions. Now this is a very important part. So let's say whenever you are making any agent, especially in Copilot Studio, you need to provide a set of instructions to it. What it will do is that it will help your agent to understand how it should process the query from the user. So if you see here, I have provided an entire paragraph of instructions where it is mentioning that you are an internal IT support specialist for Contoso. So Contoso is an organization for which we have built this agent. And what is your purpose? You have to help employees with common technology questions, including password access, laptops, workplace equipment, approved software, account access, and basic troubleshooting. And then you have to use the configured IT knowledge sources. So let's imagine a use case where you are developing an agent for an organization, right? In such scenario, you do have some specific set of knowledge sources which you want to use in order to assist the users, right? So when we're talking about an internal IT support agent, we need to provide some knowledge base to it, and that's where comes the part of knowledge. So we have mentioned here in the instructions that use the configured IT knowledge sources, and where are these knowledge sources? They have been added here. So if you see here now, I have added 4 PDFs, and all of these PDFs have different guidelines, or we can say steps, or you know solutions provided into them. We have password reset guide, IT support guide, equipment request guide, approved software catalog, all these different things. So this knowledge source is something which is going to help your agent, where your agent will go, will search for the solution based upon the question which has been asked by the user, and then it will try to find the answer from it, and then it will provide you the answer. You can see that when I click on this add knowledge, I will be able to see different options to add the knowledge. I can add it from public website, from SharePoint, Azure AI Search, Dataverse, Dynamics 365, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Azure SQL. And when I go to advanced, I can also see different other options like Snowflake, Databricks, Confluence, etc. So you can upload any type of knowledge source you want. If you simply have a PDF file and you want to upload it, as I did here in this case, you can simply do it like this. Okay, so for the practice purpose, you can start with something simple like this, and then you can eventually start developing it more rigorously. Now here you see this option which is of web search. So I have enabled this option. Now it depends upon your use case whether you want to enable this option or disable this option, because let's say if your agent is not able to find any answer from any of these 4 PDF files, then in that case it will go through the public websites in order to provide the response. But if you don't want that it should go and search on those websites, you can simply disable this option, right? Then we have the section of tools. Now tools are extremely important, and this is where we are talking about the actual part, right? So this is something which I'll be discussing when I'll talk about the workplace assistant, which is going to be our main agent. So there we'll discuss about the tools. Then here we have the triggers. So triggers are basically used to trigger your agent. So you can, when you click on add trigger, you can see we have different triggers available here. So as you see, we have recurrence, we have when a new response is submitted in Microsoft Forms, and when I click on all, I can see all the different types of triggers which are going to trigger my agent. So you can select any of these triggers. Then next thing is agent. Now this is the part where you can add another agent into your agent. When I click on add agent, I can see the option that I can add a child agent. And here in the connected agents section, like if I go to connected agents right now, if you see, I can select any of these agents which are available here. Now there is a difference between child agent and connected agents. Child agent will only be specific to your particular agent in which you are creating this child agent, while connected agents can also be used for other agents, right? So in our scenario, what we are going to do is that we'll be using the connected agents. I'm going to show you that. Then we have the topics. So here if you go and see the topics, we have different types of topics, and these are all the system and custom ones. And I'm also going to show you one topic by which is being used in one of the agents. So from there you'll be able to understand this thing in a better way. So we'll come on that as well. And then the next thing is the suggested prompts. Now this is something which is interesting. So when I let me just show you this thing from here. Yeah. So if you see here, you can see like we have this 3 different tabs here, which is HR support, IT support, and finance support, and then they are having some questions already configured here, right? So what you can do here is that when you add the suggested prompts, you can show, like you can add this type of prompts from there. These are, we can also say like these are some of the frequently asked questions where the user can simply go, and when they click on this, they will be able to get the answer directly, right? So I will also show you this thing. But yes, this is the overview tab in which we have different things available here. When I go to the knowledge tab, as I mentioned earlier, we can see all the knowledge sources which we have added here. In the tools, we will be able to add a tool. In agents, we'll be able to add the agents. In topics, we can define topics based on the triggers. And then we have activity. So the main case of activity is that you can basically track the sessions through which the user has interacted with the agent. So you can see like what happened in that particular you know session where the when the user was interacting with the agent. Then we have evaluation. Now evaluation is basically for the testing purpose. So let's say whenever you want to publish your agent and before that you want to perform some testing in order to make sure that your agent is performing correctly or not, you can do the evaluation. So you can simply click on create a test set, and then you can either select single response and conversation. So if I keep it single response, then you can drag a file or upload a CSV, or you can directly generate the question set like this. So as you can see, it has generated the set of questions, and then you can simply click on run. And what it will do is that it will evaluate all these questions, and then you'll be uh, able to like identify that how this thing works. So you have to write the expected response here for each question, and then we can run this. So next thing is monitor. So monitor is something which I will definitely discuss once we'll go through our main agent. But yeah, the main part to understand here is that let's say whenever you want to create a very simple agent, right? The first step is that you need to add some knowledge sources, and then you need to provide the appropriate set of instructions. All right. Now let me just click on test here, and you can see this prompt, right? Hello, I am IT support agent. How can I help? So what I'm going to do here is that I'm just going to I have already a set of questions. I'm just going to ask a question to it like this. How do I reset my password? So what it will do is it will go through the knowledge sources, as you can see, and from that only it will generate a response for me. And then you can see like what were the references where it went through to generate this response, right? If we would have disabled this option of searching through public sites, then it would have only visited these two PDF files and it would have generated a response. But the thing here to understand is that you can simply add the knowledge sources, and then by providing the set of instructions, your agent will respond to it. All right. Now this was something which is very basic, right? Like what I have done is like I have created three agents in the similar way. This was my IT support agent, then this is HR support agent. So in HR support agent, what I have done here is that here again I have added a few knowledge sources, or we can say few PDF files in the knowledge section like this, and then I have provided a set of instructions. So now this agent is also going to be functioning independently, right? So if I want to ask any question here in this age to this agent, I can ask it. So that is one part. So in the similar way, like I have created the finance support agent. Now let's come to the main part. Let me just open this workplace assistant and let me show you like how this agent is working. So we had three different agents, right? We had HR support agent, we have IT support agent, and then we had the finance support agent. And all of these agents had some knowledge source through which they were responding when a user used to ask any question to it. But now we are talking about this workplace assistant, where what we have done is that in this one, yeah. So in this one, I have provided a set of instructions. I will come through, what are the different types of instructions we have provided. But as you can see, I have not provided any knowledge source here. And the reason is when I go to this agents section, you can see that I have added those three agents here. And these are actually not the child agents. Because when we are adding an agent, you can see that for child agent, I have to click on new child agent and then I'll be able to create it. But these are not the child agents. These are the separate individual agents which I'm using here in my workplace assistant agent, right? And this is where the part of agent orchestration, multi-agent orchestration comes, because now what I can do is that I can simply ask any of these questions which I was separately asking to this three agents, right? Because for HR support agent, I can only ask questions related to, leave and, process for requesting flexible working arrangements or meals or all those questions related to HR. For IT related questions, I had to visit the IT support agent, and for finance related questions, I had to go and ask questions to finance support agent. But now I don't need to do that because I have one agent, which is my workplace assistant agent, where I have added all these three agents. And now when I ask any of these questions, which was there for these three agents, right, it will be able to answer me from them. And if I combine the questions, let's say if I write a question in which there is some data which needs to be taken from HR support agent, there is some data which needs to be taken from IT support agent, and there is some data which is supposed to be taken from finance support agent, it will also do that. So if you see this prompt, it is saying that I am starting work next Monday. What should I know about requesting a laptop, right? Claiming travel expenses and booking annual leave. So here we are asking all three of the questions, right? So let's just see this thing how it will work. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to paste this prompt, and let's see. Yeah. So now as you can see, it is going through IT support agent, finance support agent, and HR support agent. And let's see how it will create the response out of it, right? It's taking some time. Let's, yeah. Yeah, so now as you can see, when we are talking about the references, like what are the different types of references it went through, right? It went through equipment request guide, IT support guide. Then it also went through different external websites. The reason was I already mentioned, because we enabled that option where it can go through different public websites to get the response. So if you don't want that to happen, you just need to disable that option, right? But the main part to understand here is that when we see here, right, what it is doing is that it is generating responses by calling all the three agents which we had added here in this workplace assistant, right? And based on that, we are getting the response here. So this is the part where it can make the decision, or we can say where we can add the agents, connected agents into our single agent, and then we can trigger all of those agents together. And the interesting part is, since they are not the child agents, you can also add them in other agents, right? So as we added this three agents in this workplace assistant, in the similar way we can add them in some other agent as well. So it is generating response for everything, as you can see, and now it has taken reference from leave policy PDF, and um, this is how it is generating the response. Now another interesting thing I want to show you is that now when I go to, let's say, okay, so what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to go to the tools. Now here I have added two tools. One is query submitter. Now this query submitter is a computer use tool, so I'm going to show you like how it's going to work. But before that, we have this send email for approval. So what we have done is, like, we can also send an email for approval, right? And it will also identify the same thing here. So this is where the agent orchestration part comes. So what I will do is, like, I will copy this prompt, where what I'm trying to do is that you know I'm asking it that please submit annual leave for me from 17th August to 21st August, and my name is Jay Patel, and the reason is a family holiday. All right. And behind the scenes, we have a flow which is going to work and going to send an approval request. Okay. So let's see how it calls that flow. I'm going to send this prompt. And now, as you can see, it has triggered that flow for us, and it is now showing me that your annual leave request has been submitted. Great. So if I go here and if I go and check in the emails, yeah, you can see that I have like I've got this leave request, right? And who has sent it, I can also see that. So the part to understand here is that what we are doing is like with the same agent we are doing multiple things, right? We have added the tools here where we have added a flow, and what this flow is doing, like this flow is taking a response from the prompt which is being sent by the user. It is extracting the employee name, the type of leave, end date, reason, start date, and everything, and then it is generating a table out of it. Let me just show you the flow as well. Now you can modify it in whatever you want. This is just a simple demonstration of it, but if I show you this flow, yeah. So this flow is getting invoked from our agent, and then it is simply taking that response and it is sending an email. And then when the email is sent successful, it is again responding back to the agent. Right now, yeah, I will go back to my workplace assistant. Great. Now, next thing I want to show you is this computer use. So it became generally available in the month of May, and this is quite interesting because with the help of this one, now you can have the access to your browser or your machine, and your Copilot Studio agent can directly perform the tasks on behalf of you. So what I've done here is like I have created one computer use tool. The name of this tool is Query Submitter, and it is using Claude Sonnet 4.5 model, and then I have provided it a list of instructions. So whenever you are dealing with computer use, what you need to do is that you need to again, like you need to specify the set of instructions to it. Like whenever this thing is triggered during that time, these are the set of instructions you need to perform. So what I've done here is like I tell this tool to visit a website. Let me show you. So this is a simple HTML page where we are where we are filling this form, where we have the employee name, department, equipment type, priority, reason or description. So this is basically for requesting an equipment, and the employee, like this tool will be used by your agent to fill up the form on behalf of the employee. Now here I've defined the set of inputs. If you see, employee name, department, equipment type, priority, and reason or description. So these are the inputs it will take from the user. And here we have the option of selecting like whether we want to select a machine or hosted browser. So I'm going to keep it as hosted browser, right? And then for using the credentials, we are going to use the end user's credential, right? Whoever is going to interact with this. And then there is a human supervision as well. So let's say if anything wrong happens during that time, this tool is going to send an email to this particular user, and then that user is going to notify them in the Outlook, like give the response to it, and then based on that response it will continue to execute. Now you can also store the credentials here in the computer use. So what it will do is, like let's say right now in this case this page is directly opening this form. We are not requiring any type of login where we need to enter the username or password. But let's say if your agent is going to visit a website for filling up the details where it needs to enter the username and password, then in that case you can store those credentials here. For website you can simply add the username and password, and then you have to enter the login domain. And for the desktop app, you can add username, password, and then you can add the desktop app name. whatever name it is, Excel, Word, or any other desktop app, right? In our case, we don't require that, so I'm going to keep it empty. Then here, if you see this allowed websites and desktop apps section where we can have the access control. So in order to make sure that only specific websites and desktop apps are going to be visited by this agent, we can enable this option. And let's say if you want to enforce the HTTPS so that it only visits the secure websites, you can enable this option, right? Let me show you like what is the set of instructions we have provided here. So you are responsible for submitting an equipment request through the Contoso employee portal, and here is the URL of the portal. When this tool is executed, you have to perform the following steps exactly. Okay, you have to open the configured equipment request form website. You have to wait until the page has fully loaded. Then you have to locate that field. You have to enter the data into that field. Then locate another field, enter the data into that field as well. And similarly, like you have to fill up data in every field, and then you have to click on the submit request button. These are the set of instructions we have provided to it. And then again, if I go back to my overview section and if I show you the set of instructions which I have provided for my agent, you can see that I have also mentioned here that you when a user asks to submit an equipment request, you have to collect the information if it has not already been provided, right? And you have to get that information from the user. So let's see how this thing will work. What I'm going to do here is I've already have this agent in my Teams, so I'm going to show you it from there only. This is a prompt, okay? So this is a prompt I'm going to use here. If I show you the prompt, you can see my name is Jay Patel and I'm working in the consulting department. So now if you see, when I show you this form, here we have different departments like consulting, finance, and all these things. So I have mentioned the department from where I am. I have mentioned my name, and I have mentioned that I would like to submit a request for a new laptop because my current laptop was damaged after water was accidentally spilled on it, and the priority of this request is high. Now, these information is sufficient for our agent to fill up this form. But let's say if the information is not sufficient, then what it will do, that it will ask for that particular thing which is not provided in the prompt, and once we'll provide that information, it will again start executing it. But for now, let me just send this prompt and let's see what it will do. Okay, let me refresh it again. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me just try to do it again. Or okay, let's try to do it from here only. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to provide the same prompt here, and let's see. So now it has triggered that computer use tool, which is query submitter. Yeah. Now computer use will begin as soon as computer is available. Let's see how it will work. Okay. Computer is ready and will start running our instructions shortly. Great. So now it will take access and let's see what it will do. All right. So now as you can see, it has fetched the information from the prompt. Great. And it will open the equipment request form now. As you can see, now it is opening the form. It has opened it. Now, based on the set of instructions which we provided to this computer use tool, right? What it will do, it will follow those instructions. The instruction was to visit that employee name field, then enter employee name there. It has entered the employee name as Jay Patel. Then now it will select the department field. It will select the department as consulting. Then it will select the equipment type as laptop. Then I also mentioned that the priority is high, right? So it will select the priority. And then it will enter the reason or description. So it has selected that field, and then now it will enter this, yes, description into it, and then it will submit the request. Right. So now, as you can see, the request has been submitted, and you can see it is also showing me that reference number which was generated after submitting the form. So the main use of computer use could be that, let's say when you want to perform certain tasks of visiting this type of websites, and you want to submit some data on a particular interval, right? Because here I have shown you this thing by interacting with this board, where I have provided the prompt and then it did that thing, right? uh, but the use case can be more than this as well, where you want to schedule it to run at a particular interval where it will do the tasks on behalf of you, right? So here you can simply use this tool in your Copilot Studio, which is computer use, and then based on the set of instructions which you have provided to it, it will execute those instructions. And you can see, like, it is very easy to configure, because all we have to do is like write in natural language, and based upon the set of instructions which we have written, and the settings which we have configured, it will just perform the set of actions. Now, another thing which I wanted to show here is that, mm, yeah, great. So topics I will show. So if I go to the activity, you can see that we have all these different activity sessions here, and it is also showing me like which was on Teams and which was on Copilot Studio, like when I was doing the test session. When I go to the evaluation, you can see, as I mentioned earlier, like I already did one evaluation here, and it is showing me that what is the general quality. But now let's talk about the analytics part. So when I go to monitor section, yep. So here you can see like it is providing me the overall summary. So Copilot Studio is generating a summary where it is showing me that all 8 sessions had full engagement, no escalations or agent transfer occurred, and all of the things are working perfectly, right? And it is also providing me an overview of how many conversation sessions were there, what was the engagement rate. Then here it is showing me how many Copilot credits are there, but right now it is showing 0. And then here we have the conversation outcomes as well. If we go into the effectiveness, okay, let me just, yeah. So we have different types of conversation outcomes: unengaged, abandoned, escalated, and resolved. So if you see, we can check these details either in this form, area chart, or we can also check them in the bar chart form, like this. All right. So if you see, 75% of them were resolved and 25% of the sessions were abandoned. You can also see the sessions from here. When you click on see sessions, you will be able to see those sessions here. So it will show you those sessions like this, like how many of them were resolved and how many of them were abandoned. I can check that information as well. When I go back to the monitor, you can see like whenever I react, so here in this reaction section, whenever I react to any particular response provided by the agent, it will show the analytics of that here. Then sentiment is also going to show uh, when I click on this thing, then when I provide like response about my experience, then it will create the sentiment out of it. And here in the agents section, you can see all the agents which we had added here, right? So these are all the agents. If I would have added a child agent here, then it would have shown the type as child agent. And then here it will show me the generated answer rate and quality. So this is one part where you can check the analytics here directly from the monitor section in your agent. But another thing which you can do is that you can also check the analytics from Azure. So if you see here, I have created one application insights here in my Azure, if you see. And here I can track everything. So when I go to this log section. And from there, if I go to tables and let's see dependencies, it will check the dependencies for the last 24 hours, right? So I can see like which dependencies were used, computer use was used, send email was used. So I can track all those information here. I can also see users from here like this. If I click on view more insights, I will be able to check more insights out of it. Okay. So I can see the number of events and number of sessions. If I go to the sessions and I click on view more insights, I can again check all the insights. When I go to the events, right? So you can see that we have all the events here, right? Like board message sent, topic start, board message received. So when I open any particular event, I'll be able to trace that, right? Now, how I did this thing. So for doing this thing, what you can do is like you can simply go to your agent. You have to go to the settings, and when I go to the advanced application insights, you can see like I have provided the connection string here, right? So you need to provide the connection string. Let me show you that thing as well. Okay, not this one. Yeah, so here we have the connection string. I had created this application inside, and then I had provided that connection string here. And through that, it will, provide me the log of everything. So you can also check all those things in detail from here. So if I go to, let's say, funnels, I will also be able to track that. You can also check the cohorts and this dashboard insights. Now, another thing is when I go to the channels, let me show you that thing from here. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So from channels, you can see like you were able to see this, here, uh, where it is. Yeah. So here I had this, my workplace assistant. So you basically add that thing from here. Okay. When I click on Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams, from here you can add your agent on multiple channels. So that is also what you can do. Then I was talking about this thing, right? Where you can see, like where you were able to see, like it was showing me the suggested prompts. So I had added those prompts here, like this. These are the ones. Now for the topic part, I want to show because we don't have much time, so I'm just quickly going to show you the another agent here, like how it can be useful for your Dynamics 365 operation. So I have one agent here, which is Dynamics 365 Sample Data Copilot. Now let me show you like how this will work. So this agent is completely dependent upon the topic which we have created here. Like I have not added any type of knowledge source or any kind of information here, like no instructions or anything like this. I have simply configured a topic from here. So if I go to the topics, you can see this topic which is being created, which is create Dynamics 365 account sample data. When I open this topic, you'll be able to see that we have a trigger here which is getting called from like, so this topic is also getting called from other topic which is of conversation start, and from there we are directly asking a question to the user: would you like to get started by creating some service accounts? So let me tell you like what this agent will exactly do. This will create some service accounts for the users. How it will do that, let me show you. So for this one, I'll go to the channels, and I have already, yeah, deployed this into a demo website. So I'm going to open the demo website from here. So in Dynamics 365, we often need to create the sample data, right? So what it will do is like it can create the accounts for us. So let me click on yes. Now it is asking me to provide the latitude and longitude. So what I will do here is that I'll go to the maps and I will select this location. Okay. Then I will again go back to my agent. Okay, sorry, where it is. Yep. And so we have two options here. You can either use the time square location or you can enter your own starting place. So let's select this one. Now let's first provide the latitude. So I'm going to enter the latitude. Now let's enter the longitude. Okay. Now it will create the sample data for me. So as you can see, it has created some sample data, and now I can just verify this data from here. And it is asking me like verify the sample data. If this looks good, I can create these accounts in Dynamics 365 for you now. So let's click on this one, create this in Dynamics 365. And as you can see, it is showing me a message that accounts have been created in Dynamics 365. So what I will do here is that I will go back to my environment. Okay, I already have opened it here. So I'll go to accounts and let's just refresh it. And now as you can see, it has created 5 sample records here, and all of these records are in the city. So let's say whenever you want to create the sample data for testing purposes as well for a specific region, you can utilize this particular agent for doing that task, because what it will do is like it will generate the records based on the location which you have selected, and then you can utilize it. In my case, I had already defined in the prompt that I want to create 5 records only, so that's why it was just creating 5 records for me. But in your case, if you want to create more records, right, so you can definitely change the prompt. So if I show you that thing here, like quickly I'm showing like how this thing is working. As you can see, it was showing me two options: use time square or enter my own starting place. And then based upon whatever I have selected, it was generating the response for me. And yeah, so if I click on edit here, so here is the prompt. You can see create a CSV format list without double quotes of 5 accounts. So instead of 5, you can write 10 accounts with the following fields. And then what it is doing, like after taking those latitude and longitudes and then providing that in this prompt, whenever it gets the response, it is calling a Power Automate flow to create those records, and then it is showing this message that account records have been created, right? So let me show you this final thing from here, like what that cloud flow is doing here. Yeah, so this is the cloud full flow that we have. It is taking the input in the CSV format, and then we are performing operations on that. Using expressions, we are getting the response out of it, and then by using parse JSON, we are getting the response from it, and then we are ultimately using it in apply to each loop to create the records for us. So this is how this flow is working. But the overall thing which I wanted to say here is that you can basically have multiple things, or we can say multiple use cases which you can perform in Copilot Studio. I have shown you like two, like some different use cases, right? Like this one I wanted to show because many times, functional consultants need to create the sample records, and many times when they also want to, handle it to the uh, clients for testing purpose, they often need to create the data manually for these purposes. But what you can do is, like, you can simply select whatever location you want to select, and then by using Copilot Studio only, you can create the sample data for that particular location in fraction of seconds. And when we are talking about this workplace assistant, here we have understood that how one single agent can do multiple tasks at one point in time, right? We were able to call different agents from here, and at the same point in time, we were also able to use different tools like an external flow or a computer use tool to actually perform actions on your system, right? Where it was directly opening the website, and then it was filling up the form on behalf of the employee, based upon the prompt which we had provided to it. So this is the capability which Copilot Studio has, where you can have a single agent, and through that single agent only you can manage multiple things. There are a lot more things, right? We have work IQ as well, but since we are already short of time, I'm not going to discuss about everything. But the main point which I wanted to discuss was about the knowledge sources. We have talked about that. From answers to actions, we have understood like how we can send an email based upon the prompt. We have understood the agent orchestration as well. We talked about computer use. Then we also talked about monitoring and analytics. And so these are the key takeaways from today's session. And I will quickly hand over to Nehal now, for closing this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jay, for an awesome deep dive into what Copilot Studio can do right now. It was
Yeah.
brilliant insight. So thank you so much for being here. Everyone, I'll just take 2 more minutes of you. We are already over time, I know. But if you are not already part of Copilot Studio user group, we would love to have you. And we are based Brisbane, but most of our events are online, so you can join from anywhere. So you can head over to our Power Platform community page, and link is in the chat. You can join the group there, and you can stay connected and get all the updates on upcoming sessions over there. So yeah, please join. And a quick heads up for next event. Our next event is on 6th August. It's in 2 weeks. So that will be presented by Microsoft MVP Dharni. So yeah, if you are interested, I have dropped joining link in the chat as well. Last but not least, thank you, Girish, for co hosting tonight, and thanks everyone for showing up. See you next time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.